What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and we're out here in Great Basin National Park in Nevada, and we just got here for our kind of 2.5-week trip. We're going to be doing 7 national parks on this trip. We're going to be doing the 5 Utah parks, and then Great Basin National Park, which we're doing right now, and then we'll finish in Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. Yeah, I'm really excited for this trip. It's kind of our big summer trip this year, and we're going to start by making a quick stop at the visitor center here, and then we'll head up. You can see Wheeler Peak off in the distance there. We're going to drive up probably about to 10,000 feet of elevation, drive all the way up the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive. But let's make a quick stop at the visitor center, and then we'll drive up the Scenic Drive. The visitor center was a great place to learn about the history of the park. The park gained national park status in 1986, and before that, it was known as Lehman Caves National Monument. Now you might be wondering why the name got switched to Great Basin, and that is because this park is situated in a part of the United States where over 200,000 square miles stretched across all of Nevada, along with parts of California, Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho. All of the water that is in here does not drain into the ocean. Instead, it all either evaporates or sinks into the ground. The Great Basin contains Badwater Basin and Death Valley National Park, along with one of the tallest peaks in the United States, Mount Whitney. We just finished up doing the visitor center, but now we're going to head up the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive and make 2 different overlook stops along the way. The Mather Overlook, and then I believe it's the Wheeler Peak Overlook, and then we'll go hike. Once we make it to the top of the Scenic Drive, we'll hike the Alpine Lakes Loop Trail. We made it up the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive. Yeah, really cool drive up here. Some pretty tight switchbacks, but we made it up fine. But now we're going to hike a 2.7 mile trail to 2 different lakes, Stella Lake and Teresa Lake. It's 2.7 miles and it's a loop. We might go check out the bristlecone pine trees also if we're feeling good and we want to hike a little bit extra. But yeah, we decided to kind of skip the overlooks on the way, and we're going to go do the overlooks on the way back. So let's go hike the Alpine Lakes Trail. We're about half mile into this hike, and something that's really interesting about this hike is you can actually see these like little orange tags on the top of the trees, and that's because people like snowshoe and backcountry like ski this in the winter, and that's how high the snow gets. So yeah, pretty crazy. This has been a really nice hike. I think we've only seen like one person. Yeah, been really nice. It's nice and cool up here too. I think we're above 10,000 feet. It's about 50 degrees up here. Yeah, really cool hike. I think we're almost to our first lake here, which I believe is Stella Lake, so we'll check back in then. The first part of the trail to Stella Lake was a pretty gradual uphill. We are doing this loop counterclockwise because that is the way all trails recommended it. I will leave a link to all of our activities linked in the description below if you guys want to check that out. Here's the trail to Wheeler Peak, which is 3.1 miles up to the top of that. We're going to continue towards Stella Lake, which is 0.1 miles. We made it to the lake. This is Stella Lake, I believe. The next lake we're going to head to is Teresa Lake. Really cool. Definitely highly recommend this hike. This is definitely a must-do. Really easy hike. The first part's kind of a steep uphill. It's really gradual. But then, yeah, I believe the rest of the hike, it's kind of flat, and then it's downhill on the way back. After we finished enjoying Stella Lake, we then made our way another 0.7 miles down the trail to Teresa Lake, which is the second lake along this trail. Both of these lakes are classified as alpine tarns, which make them a little bit different from a regular lake in that they usually lie in mountain hollows and are carved out by glaciers. But once the glacier melts, it then becomes a tarn. They are often found at high altitudes and are shallower and smaller than a lake. In order to keep the water in the lake, they are usually dammed up by a natural barrier of rocks called a moraine. But we then finished up the hike back to the parking lot and headed back down the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive. But we had 2 overlook stops to make before our afternoon in Great Basin. The first one being the Wheeler Peak Overlook. This overlook was a quick and easy pull-off right off of the road and offers great views of Wheeler Peak and the surrounding mountains. After that, we made our way down a little further to the Mather Overlook. This one takes a short gravel road to access, and there is then a short walk to the overlook. This overlook is similar to the Wheeler Peak Overlook, but provides great views of the peak from a little lower and some other sections of the park. Both are great to stop at, but I would say the Wheeler Peak Overlook has some more expansive views. We got back here to the campground a couple hours ago, and we kind of had the afternoon to just chill out, and then we ate dinner. But now we're going to head up kind of into a quieter, lesser known section of the park. It's called Strawberry Creek section. It's a 5 to 6 mile dirt road to get into. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. There's like kind of a short hiking trail there we might do along Strawberry Creek. So yeah, pretty excited for this. I think it'll be pretty quiet. I doubt there will be many people there, so let's go head up Strawberry Creek Road. We made it up Strawberry Creek Road. Yeah, it took us about 15 minutes to get up. the road. Nothing too technical, maybe a couple little ruts in some sections. I would say you could do it in pretty much any vehicle. It does get a little tighter towards the end. There were a couple like tight sections where we brushed up against some trees, but nothing too bad. But now we're gonna hike the upper Strawberry Creek Trail. I think in total this trail's like 4 miles. I don't think we're gonna hike that far. Yeah, this whole area, I believe it was about 2 years ago, this whole area burned a lot. So you can see all of this is pretty much stripped of a lot of vegetation. But yeah, we're gonna hike the upper Strawberry Creek Trail and then head back down. The Strawberry Creek section was a really cool section of Great Basin National Park. The trail mostly traversed through an open valley with mountains on both sides of you. And every once in a while, you would cross over Strawberry Creek, which unfortunately in 2016, the strawberry fire ripped through the Strawberry section of the park and ended up burning over 46,000 acres, which filled the creek with debris and greatly reduced the size of it. The fire was mainly spread across the national park and BLM land outside of the park. The Strawberry Creek section was a very peaceful section of the park, and we only ended up seeing one other person the whole time we were there. But now we make our way back down the Strawberry Creek Road to end our full day in Great Basin National Park.
Step by step, I've walked 100 miles, and I still ain't sure just what I'm trying so hard to find. The night seems longer and the wind blows louder when you wandered so far from home. If I cross your mind, say a prayer, I'll find my way and get off of this lonely road.
Can you hear me? Tell me, can you hear me? I've been calling out for help, still don't see nobody near me. I'm down it, almost underground it, so deep in the valley I can't even tell you which way is the mountain. God, the only word I got, I could probably plant a garden, all this dirt I got. Trail of broken hearts behind me from the hurt I bought. Sometimes I really start to wonder if I deserve my spot, cause I'm just a man who's got blood all on his hands. But does a humble sinner still deserve a chance? Hey, say a prayer for me, I think you in advance.
Step by step, I walked 100 miles, and I still ain't sure just what I'm trying so hard to find.
Let's go.
The night seems longer and the wind blows louder when you wandered so far from home. If I cross your mind, say a prayer, I'll find my way and get off of this lonely road.
Off of this lonely road, off of this lonely road, off of this lonely road, off of this lonely road.
Get off of this lonely road.
Would you catch me? Tell me, would you catch me if I told you I was sorry? Could I fall into your blessing? Would you wrap your arms around me, never drown me? If I walk towards the light, could I tell him that you found me? God, the only help I got. I know some people plotting on me, probably thought I'd rot, praying for my downfall.
That's where we're going to wrap up this video of exploring Great Basin National Park. Yeah, this national park was really cool. It doesn't really have like any main attractions to it. Wheeler Peak is really the main attraction, but yeah, it doesn't have very many crowds. It's one of the least visited national parks actually, which I think makes it really cool. You know, the amount of just peace and solitude that you get at this park. It's out in the middle of nowhere. You can see like forever there's just nothing out here, which is really cool. You really just feel like you're alone out here. which I think is pretty cool. You can see Wheeler Peak in the background. It definitely does get a lot chillier up there than down here, so just be prepared for that. And then, yeah, the Alpine Lakes Trail that we did, that's like the most popular hike in the park, and we only saw like 5 people on it in the whole 3 miles. Highly recommend that hike. That one was really cool. And then in the evening, around towards sunset, we went and checked out the Strawberry Creek section of the park. That one was also really cool. There was only one other car at kind of the end of the road there. It took us about 15 minutes to get up. It's right around 5 miles. I would say that any vehicle could make it fine. There were a couple minor ruts, and then there were a couple tighter sections, but nothing crazy. So yeah, highly recommend that section. But I'm super excited for our next section of our trip that we're going on. We're gonna go today. We're driving down about 3 hours to like Zion and St. George, which I'm super excited about, and we're gonna be spending about 4 nights there, checking out all of the famous spots in Zion, along with some other spots that are lesser known. Actually, this afternoon when we get into Zion, we're gonna go check out the Candy Cliffs, which I'm really excited about, and maybe a couple other spots around the Candy Cliffs. So be sure to stay tuned for that video coming out. And yeah, we're gonna be hiking Angel's Landing, all of the really popular stuff in Zion. So really excited for that. But if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.